Is this working? I still don't know. And yes, it is. Welcome. Shit. I'm dropping shit everywhere. Welcome, basically, absolutely fucking nobody, to another stream of cursing a shit metric ton at world history. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 23, which is a shitstorm among itself. So, I'm going to give you a very brief summary, which will cover you for basically any tests you may come across. So, chapter 23, Creoles. I hope you remember them. Creoles, which were descendants. I'm actually just going to type that out. Creoles, which were... Okay. My paint is frozen. God damn it. Fuck. There. Anyway, Creoles were descendants. Some fucking colonialistic asshole Europeans who aren't European, cause these unlucky fucks were born in a colony. Right? So these unlucky assholes, they're just like, ha, fuck, we don't have any power. And so they were pretty, and so they all went up and said, I want independence. And so basically all the Latin American countries got their independence, and for some reason Canada got its sort of kind of independence too in the Confederation of 1867. But basically what happened is Latin American countries got independence. They all fought each other a shit ton because they're dumbasses. The United States had a civil war because that was cool. There were these guys called personalist leaders, which is basically Donald Trump. And the Europeans still tried to fuck with them. And they also became everybody was becoming extremely racist. There were developed and undeveloped countries. Developed, here we go. Developed, meaning rich as shit. And undeveloped, meaning poor as shit. Alright. There's one motherfucker watching. Hi. I thought I wouldn't be streaming it to anybody. But yeah. And that's all that happened in chapter 23. In a very short summary. Now if you want to stick around and listen to me curse at everything, well, motherfucker, you are in for some shit. Alright. First, let me flip back to the page. Have bites of pizza. Okay. First, we're going to start with why these motherfuckers said, fuck the Europeans, we want revolution. Basically, some people, including a guy named Simon Fucker. I don't remember his name. Let's look in the book. It's Simon Bolivar. We're going to call him Fucker Motherfucker. So Fucker Motherfucker went over to the Europeans. He went over to Europe. And he looked at them and said, hey, there's this shit called the Enlightenment. And like, wow, I really should have more rights than absolutely none. And so he came back and he went to everybody. And he had this great voice, this fucker motherfucker. And he said, hey, you little shits, what are you doing? What are we doing? What am I doing? What the fuck? And then he got everybody riled up. And they started going like, shit. fuck the Spanish, because basically everybody in Latin America was part of either like the Portuguese or the Spanish, and everybody was like, fuck the Spanish, what the fuck are we doing? So fucker motherfucker, along with his brand new buddies, and I believe Venezuela, basically got everybody together and said, alright motherfuckers, here's the deal. Let's slip and slide on this banana no, not actually, but here's the deal. We're gonna get our independence. And then a lot of people, these loyalist assholes were like, no, the king is clearly better. Now, and so basically they just fought back and forth over the years, on and on and on, until Spanish's king got his ass kicked back in, normal Spain, because they kind of went like, fuck the king. And so now the king's supporters became divided, because some of the more liberal ones were like, just keep fighting the colonialists that are here trying to kill us. And the conservatives went like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Do I need to go back to Spain? I never went to Spain. What the fuck is the king doing? And then the patriots kind of swept in while they were having this conversation, kicked down the fucking door, screamed out, it's high noon, shot them all dead. Or captured them. And that was Venezuela. And others. And then Argentina, which was actually the United Provinces of the Rio de Plata, basically had a junta of a bunch of military people, some merchants, some ranchers, all sorts of motherfuckers and sons of bitches. And these assholes came in, they overthrew the viceroy, and instead of fighting with these loyalist assholes, because they were still everywhere, they went like, hey, we still totally follow the king. He is definitely the leader here. Obviously. Until he got weakened and they went like, kinda fuck that shit. And then basically the entire region descended into chaos. And same kind of thing with Chile. And then Mexico. Mexico. Oh boy. This is a funny story. Now you might have not realized this shit. Because you might have been too busy paying attention to all the people dying more south of Mexico. But I'm going to tell you a secret. Guess what, motherfucker? Even more people die. Because, so, first guy, start revolution in Mexico is this guy named Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. I'm gonna go back to using curse words as people's names after this because it's much easier. But Mr. Hidalgo was a priest, and he said, everybody, let us rise against these goddamn Spanish assholes. And the Spanish military went, fuck no. And so, he died. The next guy, we're going to call him fucker motherfucker number 2, kind of went in, and he was a student of Mr. Hidalgo y Costilla. He was a student of Mr. Hidalgo y Costilla. And, let's see. And, fucker motherfucker number 2 was another priest. And he was better at the military than, Hidalgo. And he said, alright guys, let's kill these bitches. And so he made a better fighting force. He made a constitution. They made a Congress, declared independence, and he got executed. So fucker motherfucker 2 is dead. And then finally, this guy named motherfucker fucker. This guy named motherfucker fucker. Basically said, let's get everybody together. So he did. And then they finally got their independence, and they said, you know what would be good? If we had another monarch. That's a great idea. Oh, That's such a good idea. So obviously he was executed after being exiled. And Brazil, wow, there's really a page. There's really a page on this shit. What happened to Brazil? Well, Brazil, let's see. Brazil had Pedro the First. He fucked up, got exiled. And then they had Pedro the Second. Some kind of emperor kind of shit, dictator, fucked everything up. That guy overthrown in 1889, some shit like that. Boom. That's it. So there's a bunch of different. So clearly, the best fucking thing to do as a textbook writer, after discussing how they all got their independence, is to first discuss the Canadian government experiment. Because clearly, as a textbook writer, I am constantly high on cocaine and hemp, and just kind of just poring over all these historical texts. Oh, yeah. So, clearly, the next thing we need to look at is the Canadian government. Canada! Hey! Britain gave them a government in the Confederation of 1867. They basically made a government like America's, and they said, alright, please don't break away from us. We're gonna give you a lot more freedoms. It's gonna be great. You're gonna give us money. We're gonna give you money. It's gonna be awesome. And that's it. And then, so all the other Latin American nations who had never been given any sort of representation, right? So here, with Britain, with both Canada and the U.S., they both had some kind of representation. Granted, they fucked it up with the U.S., which is why we're now in America, bitch. But with Canada, they gave them stuff, and then they made it so eventually they got their own government, and basically now they don't have Canada. But it was a lot better, as opposed to Spain, who gave all the Latin American nations jack fucking shit in terms of representation. So they went into this with absolutely no experience, and clearly things are not going to go well. Another problem here is the wonderful Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church has a shit ton of power. Like, you know that, like, scandal where they're like priests, you know, fucking little boys and shit. Well, this Catholic Church is so powerful. Exaggeration, obviously, kind of, but they could basically just they could basically fuck you up the ass, fuck your son up the ass, then your daughter, and then take your money, and then you will praise the Lord, right? Sorry to all Christians for this really terrible power analogy. I mean, I'm really sorry. That was out of hand. But these fuckers were still assholes that had a lot of power. So when there was some liberals that came along and said, you know what? Hey, stop, bitch. They went like, no. And then conservatives went like, fuck no. Okay? So these guys were the liberals for the separation of church and state. And these motherfuckers over here were the conservatives. Conservatives who were not. They were against that shit. Okay. Let's see. Whoop. Good. 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 And now, clearly, after talking about Canada in this chapter, it's mostly about Latin America. Clearly, the next thing we need to talk about, after touching back on Latin American government and the Catholic Church, real fast, as a textbook writer, that's both just eating shit and getting crumbs everywhere, and just constantly high. Ugh. The next thing we need to talk about is random ass personalist leaders for a fucking page. Like Brazil, which is a country, the motherfucking country. And they were important to this fucking shit. They got less than a page worth. Personalist leaders, on the other hand, which basically all we need to say is, I'm not even going to write anything down, whereas assholes that are like Donald Trump. They're popular, they got power, they did a lot of crazy ass shit. And they're very, very common in Latin America. That's it. But they got this fucking page of shit. So for bonuses, you're gonna need to know Jose Paez and Andrew Jackson. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 1. Okay, we're cutting this shit. We're moving on. I'm not gonna curse about that shit for too fucking long. Now, I gotta save the cuss words, right? I gotta balance. If I go over that balance, I'm gonna eventually just go insane and just cuss at everything and not remember what English language is. So now, regionalism. Basically, and this gets like a page and a half, when all I need to say is regionalism, kiddos, is when a bunch of motherfuckers hate a bunch of their fellow motherfuckers very, very much. They come together and they say, alright, you motherfuckers, I fucking hate you, and you, and all of you motherfuckers. I want to do what the fuck I want, because I live here, and you live there, and I don't give a fuck. And so this is where basically civil war comes in. Even though you could talk about, the Latin American regionalism threats for at least half of that section. No, you're gonna talk about the Civil War, even though we're taking fucking a push next year, or at some point, because you have to take U.S. history. We're in America. For that random British person that watches these, you don't. But what happened in the Civil War was we fought each other because slavery and fuck. What the fuck? I don't know. And, for slavery, economics, and some other random shit. And it's not really that important right now. That's it. And also, now we move on to foreign interventions and regional wars again. Even though you could have put the regional wars in the threat of regionalism, where you put a very famous regional war. Because if I'm a textbook writer, that's high as fuck. And just constantly doing random shit. Clearly. That's what we need to do. And so, France tried to invade. Here. Now, I will actually start drawing again. So, France invades Mexico. Shit ton. Unsuccessfully. Okay. Then, America invades Mexico. Very, very successfully. This is basically America being an absolute dick to... Oh, what the fuck is that kind of? I don't even know what the fuck that is. What the fuck is this shit? Anyway, America's being a huge dick to Mexico and just like takes most of its land, leading to like a huge ass power struggle between a guy named Benito Juarez and fuck a bunch of other people. All right, and then in this one paragraph about the regional wars between the Latin American nations, about a chapter mostly about Latin America. Yes, smart. People fight over Paraguay and Uruguay. Now, the native peoples in the nation state, because this is clearly the best topic to go over, because this order is the best order. Shit. Got my tablet cord stuck on something. Okay. Okay. Basically what happened was everybody killed the Indians. Okay, moving on. Oh, yeah. Abolition of slavery. Women and free African Americans stopped slavery in America. And in Brazil, Britain stopped that fucking shit. And also in the Caribbean, where there were also slaves revolting and the plantations were unprofitable. Immigration! Everybody's racist against Asians. And there's also this acculturation thing. Acculturations. Fuck you. You bitch asshole. You will adopt my motherfucking culture. Culture because you live here now, asshole. Okay, that's acculturation in a nutshell. Beep, boop. And a woman struggling for rights. There's that Seneca Falls thing. This Women's Right Convention at Seneca Falls, 1848. They tried. Didn't do shit. We talked about development and underdevelopment at the very start in that summary. That's it. Oh yeah, and racism, again, definitely a huge thing, especially against Asians, black people. Cool. And oh, one last thing on chapter 23. You know the environment. Let me see. You know, the environment. We fucked it up. Okay. And that was the absolute shitstorm. That was chapter 23. Wow. Holy shit. It took less time. Now then. In class, we talked about a bunch of motherfuckers. These philosophers who had ideas that influenced the imperialism that was talked about in previous videos of, you know, the chapter 23 and 24 shit. So, let us dive into the notes that I have through, like, the 6 fucking pages of, Napoleon notes. And now, we're going to talk about... Yeah! I'm almost done. Give me a sec. And now we're going to talk about these philosophers and their philosophies. We're going to go really fast, so I hope you can keep up. Sociology by a guy named Auguste Comte. People act in groups. That's it. Psychology. With a guy named Ivan Pavlov. We can have conditioned behavior. You know, the dog experiment where I hear the bell, I get food. Clearly, whenever the bell rings, I will get food. Or whenever I get slapped in the face, I'm about to be fucked up the ass. So, whenever I get slapped in the face, I will now think of being fucked in the ass, because that's clearly the logic here. Alright, moving on. Psychoanalysis. By Mr. By Mr. Sigmund Freud. People learn from society because society is a motherfucking bitch, and we clearly have a subconscious that's behind our normal conscious that thinks of all sorts of crazy, wacky, tacky shit. Oh boy. Alright. Next up. What are we on? Collective behaviors. Collective behaviors by a guy named Max Weber. We all want to fit in, because on the inside, we're all lonely-ass motherfuckers who only need somebody to love. Kinda. Unless you're an emo kid, I guess. And in that case, go fuck yourself. No, not really go fuck yourself. But, like, damn, kid. Get a fucking life. Next up. Well, I mean, I don't have a life either. Because I'm cursing about world history. But you have even less of a life, emo kid. We'll get that straight. Now then. Peer pressure. Oh, no. That was part of the collective behavior thing. Nihilism. Nihilism. By a guy named Nietzsche. Nietzsche. Strong-willed motherfuckers are gonna rule over the weak-willed motherfuckers. And they will always try to rule the weak-willed motherfuckers. Because fuck everybody. Religion's a fucking scam. People are gonna follow the trends because they have weak fucking wills. And most of the people are sheeple. Okay. Moving along. To racism. Wow. Racism existed? I never fucking realized. Well, this guy named Gobineau started scientific racism. Where this random ass white dude over here is clearly better than this brown dude over here. Because, hear me out, they have different skeletal structures. Because that's how we fucking like to think in the 19th century, bitches. That. Okay. And he's like, you shouldn't intermingle races. Like, some people, not gonna say who, some people are just very clearly better, and they need to teach other motherfuckers and teach them to evolve. And then there's the normal evolution guy, you know, Darwin over here, just studying birds. I can't draw a bird on the fly. And he's just studying birds, and he's been all cool, and it's just like, yay! And then Evolutionary Ethics by Spencer. Evolutionary Ethics. Philosophy talked about by Mr. Spencer. Right? Herbert Spencer. Yeah. By Mr. Spencer. Eventually, we will weed out those with mental illness and handicaps if we just don't fuck them. Yeah, he was an asshole too. And wow, we're done. Alright. Thank you for listening. This one random motherfucker who happened to watch this stream live. And thank you to everybody else who might watch this not live because you're busy with shit. And I understand. I'm busy with shit too. Thank you for listening and watching me curse about world history. Have a good motherfucking evening.